It's Monday, August 12th, and not only have you got it on Damon Bruce Plus, you're hanging out on Golden Days as well. Our good friend Cyrus Saatsaz coming on in to talk a little Warriors, Curry, Olympics, and Gay Paris. What a fantastic Olympics that really was. Not just for the basketball team, obviously. It was an awful lot of fun, man. I'm going to miss it now that it's gone. Cyrus, two boys in the house, they were constantly, what's that? What's that? What's that? My wife loves it. I thought it was a great Olympics.
It definitely was. There's been a lot of Olympics where I snoozed. Like Rio was like, we all know the debacle of Japan, no fault of Japan. But the whole world was in a crisis. And I mean, I don't usually wake up for the Olympics. I don't usually get excited for the Olympics. Usually it's like an event that's in the background, and I always miss the important events. And there's always things like breakdancing and handball that actually breakdancing I think is kind of new. But the point is, there's a lot of events that you just don't give two shits about. Side note, I was actually when I was very young, I was actually on track to compete in table tennis in the Olympics, and then a divorce happens. And but then I saw a story that like some 50-something-year-old won gold this year, and I'm like, whoa, maybe I should try to get back into that. Because I guess it is all just about your hands, right?
Look at it this way. I think you smoked enough weed to your reaction time is just not going to hang with any like Asian-born ping pong player. Never.
David, as a fellow weed smoker, there's no long-term effects. There's no long-term effects. It is not permanent. It helps. It doesn't hurt. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So nonetheless, Sha'Carri Richardson, she got suspended. I'm like, look, if weed made you fast, you wouldn't even be able to see me. I'd be moving so quickly. So yeah,
do you remember those dark days where like people like Ricky Williams were like crucified because they smoked weed? Like, amazing how far we've come, right? It's
funny. Somebody said, hey, drugs ruined Ricky Williams' career. No, drug testing ruined Ricky Williams' career. So anyways, look, it is great to have everyone here. I just did a wake up with Larry. If you're looking for some Niners content, we did an awful lot of it. Cyrus, not that we don't talk football, but we really don't, because we're always here to talk a little bit of basketball. And I tell you,
I'm here for you, man. That's what I'm here for you. I'm your Warriors guy, where we can just spit game about hoops, brother.
Steph Curry just did something that is so cherry on top of the sundae, so absolutely perfect, and how it happened and how it all went down. I mean, leave it to a guy with a nickname of Chef to really put on a show in Paris. It was perfect the whole way through, and we're going to talk about that here on today's show, because Curry deserves his own video for sure, and we're going to get into it. But as always, let me welcome everyone here. Hit like and subscribe on both of these channels, please. And we will remind everyone that when you're feeling a little hungry, go get yourself a sandwich at Ike's. Absolutely delicious sandwich. Order online. Use the Ike's app. Start earning your way towards free sandwiches. Come on out to the Dubliner for a wonderful Guinness. Say hi to John and Kenny at the Dubliner. These guys are ready to set you up, and you can just knock them down in one of the best bars, Dubliner in West Portal. And Cyrus, what do you got as well, brother?
Oh, yeah, I do have a sponsor as well. I know. So my sponsor is a bit more on the depravity side. It's Bet Online. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. And real fast before I continue, just to let you know, Damon, how much Ike's is delicious to me. I've been battling food poisoning, the worst kind, man. I've been like vomiting. 1 minute I'm like, I've got a fever where I'm sweating. Next minute I'm freezing in like 90-degree weather. I'm having fever dreams with ex romances revisiting me. It was an absolute nightmare. But with that said, where all I've eaten for the last 3 days is bread and rice and crackers. You did that Ike's read, and I got hungry. That's how good Ike's is, man. That is my ringing endorsement to your sponsor. Going back to Bet Online real fast, right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the UFC to baseball to Formula One racing. And Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, kick back, relax, pour yourself a stiff one, and head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of over 150 slot games. So head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your free 50% bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
Players to have won an NBA title, an NBA MVP, a Finals MVP, and an Olympic gold medal. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Shaquille O'Neal, Steph Curry is now on that list. And if we're talking about a list that you would put together of talented basketball players of such historical significance, you cannot tell the story of the game of basketball without mentioning every single one of those guys. It is so appropriate that Steph Curry finds his name on that list. The greatest moment of the Olympics. It wasn't even the shot that is maybe the singular greatest shot in Olympic history.
You mean the massive rainbow over two defenders?
Yes. It's not even that. It's the fact that it was nothing short of two of the other greatest basketball players of all time in Kevin Durant and LeBron James deferring to Steph Curry. And that, to me, says an awful lot. In the biggest, our reputations and the country's pride is on the line moment, two of the greatest follow me, I know the way basketball players ever. Let Steph Curry lead them. The fact that that pass went to Durant and immediately got kicked back to Curry, that to me, as we live in a world of constant basketball pecking order debate, you just saw all the guys we debate decide the pecking order in real time on the biggest stage imaginable. I thought that was pretty significant, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some people, I saw someone in the chat say that they feel like Curry was robbed because he didn't win MVP, and I'm not making that argument. Steph did not consistently dominate over the 6 games. I get the sentiment, but LeBron deserved it. With that said, dudes, it's Steph. I mean, when people sometimes come to me and go, dude, why are you not always so positive about the fact that the Warriors won 4 titles in 6 years and that we just went through a dynasty? Where is the gratefulness from you? And my response always is, Stephen Curry is so good. He represents such a level of greatness that we may never see again, ever. And I want what's best for him. I still think he should, at least the team should try and fight and do everything they can so he can get a 5th ring. I really want 5 for him. And I know that's selfish. I know it's asking for a lot, but that's how much I respect the man. That's how much I admire him. He's just an incredible dude. By the way, did you see that clip? This went totally under the radar. And I'm on Threads, by the way. You can follow me there at Dog Wild. Damon, you're on there as well, too. And I don't know if you have the same handle.
It's like you and 2 other people using Threads, but go ahead.
That is not true at all, by the way. For a side note, not true at all. It's actually very I'm guessing that the user rate is coming up to Twitter at this point. It wouldn't surprise me given how Elon's been acting. Because I'm on Threads regularly, and we're seeing all these people there from Twitter now migrating over. But the point is, on Threads, there's this clip if you want to follow me there. And you're on there too. What's your handle, by the way? Just so
I don't even know. I signed up for it, and I don't think I've opened it. And
yes, you have. You've used it. You posted on there. I've seen it.
It's not me posting. Maybe somebody else is posting for me. It's not me.
It's got the blue check and everything. Anyway, okay, all right. Well, yeah. The point is, there's a clip on there, if you follow me, that I reposted of Steph pulling from 20 years ago, a Dave Chappelle move. On the Chappelle show, Chappelle had like one of his side actors would sometimes have this random clip where a guy's doing like a robot and he's like, and just in and out of a camera, right? Yeah. There's a timeout. I don't know. Have you seen this clip? It's like
Ashley Larry.
Yeah. So Stephen Curry is doing that. Did you see that? It's in the middle of a timeout. Steve Kerr has the team around him in a huddle. Like LeBron's focused, KD is focused, Anthony Edwards is trying to fit his head in there to hear what Kerr's saying. And just in and out of the camera, panning through, is Steph doing like a robot. Like it was the most comical thing ever. And it was a sign of just how Curry recognizes the moment, and he understands that sometimes you just got to take it easy in those high tense moments. When there's pressure, like literally weighing on your shoulders like that, you just got to sometimes lighten it up. And he did. It was just the funniest thing ever. And again, if you want to see that clip, if you haven't, I don't know why it hasn't made the rounds in a viral manner yet, but It is one of the funniest things ever. And it was just a sign of Steph knowing when to bring levity into a really tense moment. It was just awesome, man. But yeah, Steph, man. He's one of the greatest ever, brother. I hope he makes Mount Rushmore in terms of the all-time greats. That's my goal.
Well, to me, I don't need a mountain. I don't need a list. I'm watching one of the all-timers. That's just where it is. And as he was on the court with other all-timers, they said, "Show us the way, you, Mr. Steph Curry." And I just thought that was pretty significant and very cool. And what I really also liked about the Olympics was, look, we live in a world where someone's always trying to take something off of your table. And Steph Curry has so laid out a delicious meal for us. There's really no criticism, but people still find a way. So there are people who just don't like the Warriors. Therefore, their dislike of the Warriors gets transferred to Steph Curry. And, you got fans, media people, commentators, hot take artists, all alike trying to tell you what Steph Curry isn't, more than appreciating what he is. But for a minute, everybody got to be a Steph Curry fan.
Are you?
And that's what I really liked. I love the fact that even the person who didn't like Steph Curry was like, "Oh, this is what it feels like to root for Steph Curry." That was kind of awesome. And I love that happened. I love that happened. Even the stingiest LeBron stands out there for a minute. We're like, man, this Steph Curry guy, let me tell you, this is pretty damn good. That's a hell of a show he puts on.
Yeah, I was going to ask, sorry to have interrupted you there. I was going to ask if you actually are seeing people still hating on Steph after that, because I would say that is just pure hate. You're just a bitter person if at this point you're still hating on Stephen Curry, man. I thankfully haven't seen it, but that would be absurd, dude. And let me ask you this, Larry. I don't know if Larry, Damon,
sure.
Again, I'm still recovering from food poisoning. Forgive me for that. I got to ask you, if you're ready to at least talk about other things, I'm curious to ask you, David, with every Olympics, there's always players that come out of it astronomically improved. Like there are like new people practically. This even happened to Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. Stephen Curry is so advanced in terms of experience. I don't know if we're going to see much more improvement from him. It's almost like he's making others get better by them watching him and his work ethic and, his routines and his performance. But who's sticking out to you, man? Like, did you see any one of these Olympics that after this you're thinking to yourself, they're going to be better next year?
I think Anthony Edwards just got the most important summer school he'll ever get, right? I mean, Anthony Edwards got to sit there and just be a sponge of generational greatness. And beyond that, beyond just the learning, there were moments in this tournament where a team loaded with scorers let him do the scoring. And I think Devin Booker is another guy who earned an awful lot of league-wide respect in this league. Not everybody can come out here and be your leading scorer. Some guys got roles to play. The fact that Devin Booker went opposite of Jayson Tatum and just said, "Yes, coach, whatever you need me." I think Jayson Tatum looks the worst out of all the Olympians. I think that Tyrese Halliburton, who didn't hit the court, has a big reputation jump through this. Did you see his social media post? He's when you do nothing on the group project, but you still get an A. That was
well. I mean, in Halliburton's defense, I think I respect his self-awareness for knowing he was the young kid. He really hasn't done much in the NBA yet relative to his teammates, and he understood his role on this team.
Well, I mean, he made the Pacers relevant, which hasn't happened since Reggie Miller was there. So
fair. But again, relative to his teammates, you look at any other teammate, any other player on that team, and they have so many more accomplishments than Tyrese Halliburton. And that's not a diss on Halliburton. It's just how good Team USA was. And Tyrese respected that. He acknowledged it, and I respect him for that. Here's the thing with Jayson Tatum. First of all, when you say that, when you talk about Tatum, are you referring to him pouting and the retweets and all that? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm going to have to think about this before I commit to 2028. You pussy.
So you're all on board for Tatum just being a sourpuss. And
just look at it this way. You weren't the best player on your team that just won a championship. I mean, you're really, really good. I'm not here to tell you what Jayson Tatum isn't, but I don't like it. I didn't like his attitude. I didn't like the reaction. I don't like I don't know about going forward. I don't know. Like, I didn't really have that much of an opinion on Jayson Tatum to begin with. It bent negatively more than it did bend positively through this Olympics. I wasn't that impressed. Bam Adebayo, by the way, is the other guy I think takes this experience and becomes more this season. And look, I know he's a Serbian. What has Bogdanovic got left? Bogdanovic was awesome for Serbia. I thought he was going to cook the Team USA there, and Steph, of course, played savior in that game as well. Steph was even better in the game that got them to the gold medal game than he was in the gold medal game.
Those two, he was big in when it mattered, right? Like, that is greatness personified, is stepping up when the pressure is heaviest. And Steph struggled the first 4 games, and struggled by his standards, right? They weren't like bad performances, but he wasn't lighting it up. And yeah, he stepped up when it mattered most, man. Like, especially in that Serbia game. Like, Team USA loses that game if Steph doesn't light it up. Like, they could maybe survive against France because they had a lot of other players stepping up, but dude, Steph saved the day. And truth is, they don't win gold because if you lose that game, you're out. So Steph saved Team USA literally in that Serbia game. I want to talk about Tatum in just a second.
Hold on real quick, because we break for super chats.
Oh,
we break for super chats.
Always.
Especially this is coming from your side of the viewership here. This is from OMG. It's Manny. He says Curry's MVP was stolen. I don't think it was. I don't think it was stolen. First of all, I didn't even know the Olympics gave an MVP.
I didn't either.
I really don't care.
I didn't either.
But
until a few days ago, yeah.
LeBron was the best player in France. Any team, anyone, through the whole thing, LeBron was the best player in France, which at this point in time in his career is absolutely absurd. The man is phenomenal. But Steph Curry was the best when it mattered most. But LeBron, I think, was worthy of the MVP. He led the team in rebounds, assists, and he was in the center of all of it, where Steph Curry was on the peripheral for a lot of it and then took the main stage when it mattered most.
Yeah, and we touched on this early, and just to rehash, look, I get the sentiment. If you feel like Steph should have won MVP, I'm not going to hate you for that opinion. I'm not going to necessarily criticize it or give you a strong rebuke, whatever. But LeBron, it's a 6-game Olympics, right? It's not just the last 2 games. And Steph did not do enough in those first 4. It was reminiscent of the 2017, 2018 NBA Finals, where like KD dominated every one of those games. Steph had one off game in each of those series, and that one off game was the difference. And to get an MVP, you got to do it from beginning to end in every game and be consistent. And I get the sentiment, man. I'm not going to sit here and have an whole argument about it, but I at the same time, I understand why LeBron won. But we're business. Thank you, Damon, for highlighting that post, because you and I are running a business, folks. And if you want to get your chats highlighted, throw down some ducats. We'll highlight it.
Is this a bit? Is this? Okay, I guess it is. You know who else is also? Look, you want to talk brisk business? The fact that Steph showed up with the Nui shirt, the night, that's awesome. night in French, the Nui, and that was just freaking perfect. Now, there is something, and we'll get back to Tatum here. Did you see, and I still don't know exactly what happened, but Ayesha Curry got jostled, or her kid got jostled, and she was like in tears with Sonya Curry, and even Draymond was in the back saying like the baby just got hit in the head. Can they do so? There was something that went on the Parisian streets which left Ayesha Curry not happy. I don't know
all of that, Damon. I am your audience right now. Enlighten us.
Look, I can't even enlighten you. I haven't seen the details come out of what the problem was, but Ayesha was just not happy with something involving the French police. Draymond says the baby got hit. I don't know if she was jostled or pushed or what. I don't know, but there was something. Like, go ahead when this show's over. Look at, Ayesha.
I'm looking at it right now just so I can help you out a little bit. Do you want to read this verbatim? Because I feel like it's... do you have the story?
Cite your sources. Go ahead.
So this is courtesy of Yahoo, decently credible. Stephen Curry's wife, Ayesha Curry, and I didn't know Ayesha was in Paris. I guess that she showed up late in the tournament.
She did.
Was faced with an uncomfortable incident after the men's basketball final. According to reports, a police blockade outside the location prevented the mother of four from heading to a pickup car after the game, despite her mother-in-law's pleas. So that means Sonya was there as well. Ayesha Curry remained silent through the incident, but she appeared visibly upset and eventually began to shed tears. And as we know, Steph's youngest child is practically still a newborn, right? I mean, he's not, I don't think he's even one yet.
Yeah.
What's his newborn's name? Caius? Is that what it is? Is that how you pronounce it? I think. Anyways.
I'm not sure.
So there's not much detail. So Sonya said, quote, "Look, they won't let us go back over there where we came from." She could be heard addressing the officers in a now viral video of the incident. They won't let the driver come here, and they won't let us go back over there. So basically, it sounds like they were trapped in a crowd, and there was just
might have gotten jostled in that crowd. Yeah. Either way, like let Ayesha Curry and Sonya Curry go to Steph. Like, let him through.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that feels crazy. This way. Had Raymond Ritter been there, none of this happens.
No, if Raymond Ritter's involved, everything is copacetic and smooth. It's if you want things to run smoothly, you bring Raymond Ritter into the picture. You're absolutely right, brother.
So look, it was a fantastic Olympics. Team USA, again, it's a real burden, man. And watching everybody go, Steve Kerr, Jayson Tatum, and Steve Kerr can't coach, and he can't.
Well, I want to touch on that for a second, but real quick,
undefeated gold medal.
I know. Well,
whatever you're about to complain about, make sure you say, and none of it mattered because every button he pushed turned out to be the right one anyways. And what I think I know about basketball is dwarfed by what this guy actually knows about basketball. And Steve Kerr is good at his job. Full stop.
Here's the thing. To me, the winning gold is awesome, but Team USA always wins gold, except for 2004. I don't like, to me, it's not like like when you say Steve Kerr was the coach for a gold medal team. Yeah, he was. But so was every other coach not named Larry Brown. And it's expected when you have a team this talented.
Right, but the world is not the world that we used to compete against.
That's true. That's
not
true.
Even close.
Here's my thing with Jayson Tatum and why I took a different approach to it. It was a couple of reasons. One is, as someone like you who has covered this team for a long time, it reminded me a lot of the Jonathan Kuminga situation, where you have a more talented individual that, according to the coach, is not the right fit, right? So the individual is not playing because of a coach's subjective reasoning. So that never sits well with me. I like talent over, to me, give me talent over fit every day, because if you have a good coach, the coach will make it fit. And the fact that Jayson Tatum was getting minutes over Derek White, when Jayson Tatum, typically, I know this tournament shooting was not his forte, and maybe that's why he lost minutes, but typically, and you look at career numbers, Jayson Tatum's shooting is superb. He's a better rebounder.
The NBA game is wings. The FIBA game is guards and bigs.
Yeah, but Jayson Tatum could be a guard. Jayson Tatum could be a big. You know what I'm saying? This is a reigning three-time.
Not over Steph Curry, not over Devin Booker.
I'm not arguing for that. I'm bringing up Derek White. I'm bringing up like the Derek White thing is
a better fit. He was.
And that's where it's a subjective thing, and I agree to disagree with Kerr on that. But here's the thing is, Tatum, he's a reigning three-time first-team All-NBA player, reigning champion. This is where it stung to me. This is why I took it a little more personally, I think, the most. Jayson Tatum's first title, to me, reminded me a lot of Stephen Curry's first title, because when the Warriors won the title in 2015, there were a lot of people disrespecting Steph. There were a lot of people not taking that title seriously, thinking it was a one and done, that they lucked out with all those injuries in the playoffs. LeBron's team was decimated. He didn't win MVP, right? You had a lot of people bringing up the fact that, well, Tatum didn't even win MVP this year in the finals. Well, neither did Steph that season. And he got a lot of disrespect. And this reminded me a lot of that, where you have this player that just won a championship that should be on the top of the world, and then because of a coach's subjective decisions, got relegated. And it didn't sit well with me when Derek White was getting more minutes than him. That's where, to me, it became a little much. And I agree that Jayson Tatum could have handled it better in terms of the pouting, right? Don't make it public, man. Like, keep your feelings about it to yourself and just prove everyone wrong on the court. I don't think Steph
The
would have done
only
that.
the only correct statement for any player on Team USA is, I'm here to do whatever I need to do to win a gold medal. Whether it's start, whether it's a coach DNP, whether it's setting moving screens, whether it's just rebounding. Like, I am here to do whatever I am asked to do.
Yeah.
It's just everybody's got a good soldier it. And on a team where you literally have everyone here is a first team all NBA level talent, not everyone can play. It's just, you can't. Like, somebody's got to deal with that that humble pie. Look, Joel Embiid handled his humble pie better.
Speaking of Joel, like, we talked about players are going to get better next year. I fear the 76ers now. That's a third guy. You brought up Bam Adebayo. You brought up Devin Booker. Joel Embiid was an unsung hero in that Serbia game, man. Those shots he dropped in the fourth quarter, those were huge. He was the only guy that was an answer for Jokic. And Philly fans, congratulations, dude, because now you have a new version of Joel Embiid that may have never shown up ever in his career. And they might have a shot now just because of this. Sorry to interrupt, man. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to forget to bring up Embiid as well. But
free flowing conversation. There are no interruptions here.
I never wanted to
subscribe. Like and subscribe, everybody. Rick Mighty-Bone Feliciano, who, by the way, is he's going to be on stage, I think, this week. He's a horn player. We got a horn section over here.
Love it.
The rest of the world finally collectively felt and experienced and understood what the Bay Area has been experiencing for 15 years. And you were right about that. I mean, it's funny. Steph Curry. I remember when the movie Cyrus, when the movie Crazy Rich Asians came out.
I still haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
Yeah, it is a good movie. Okay. But the movie Crazy Rich Asians came out. I remember somebody tried to like come down my chimney saying all that, like, that's racist. No, it's not. I basically went on the air and I said Crazy Rich Asians is sweeping the country, and no one has ever seen like collective, attractive Asian people operating in this circle of wealth. And in San Francisco, we call this Wednesday. Okay? Like, I understand in Iowa, this is hitting like an atomic bomb. This is brunch where we live. So it's really, like, it's not this extraordinary look into a culture I don't understand, because we look into this culture all the time out here. And that's the same thing with Steph Curry. What everyone saw from Steph versus Serbia and then France, we call that Wednesday out here. I'm glad everybody else got to see what Wednesday looks like.
And Damon, this is why I still have so much passion for this Warriors team in terms of wanting them to just make one more big move, dude. This current roster, to me, it's not enough for Steph, dude. Like, he needs help. Like, I know that Larry Markkinen thing. We could save that for another show in terms of whether or not Brandon Podziemski.
No, we can talk about it right here, man.
Do you think it was enough? Like, would you have traded Brandon if the reports are true? And a lot of people have come out and said that this is true now, so we can roll with it like it's fact. Like,
the only thing I can tell you is Brandon Podziemski better be in All-Star games soon.
This reminded me a lot of the Kevin Love, Klay Thompson trade talks 10 plus years ago, where the Warriors decided against trading Klay for Kevin Love. They basically faced this kind of moment again, and I don't think Klay is Podziemski, but apparently Joe Lacob does. So we'll find out. Would you have done it?
Yeah. If that is what held up this deal, that's an awful lot of responsibility just got put on Brandon Podziemski's plate, and he better turn into everything they hope he is going to turn into. I think Lauri Markkinen would have been a very nice addition. I don't think he is the only answer and the godsend that the Warriors. I don't think he was a have to have him level player. I think he's very good. He would have fit. It would have worked, but it isn't the end all be all. And because it's the NBA, we are 3 months away from identifying a player who's going to want out that could be the next guy to pursue. I don't feel like the Warriors are now damned in the upcoming season because Markkinen's not on the team. But man, they had a chance. They had a chance to add him, and now they don't. He cannot be traded this coming year. So if you're looking for an answer, he cannot provide it. So it's going to.
And my worry, Damon, is this next. I did the research, and in every one of the Warriors title years, they got off to And even the just all the KD years, the 73 win season, basically the 6 years of the Warriors just crushed the NBA, even though they won 4 titles those 6 years. The Warriors always got off to insane hot starts, man. Like Richter beginnings to the season. And every other year, 2023, 2024 more specifically, but also the other ones, they did not. And my real concern, and like last year, for example, the trade deadline, the Warriors, I think, were 3 games below 500. And I just don't want a poor start. And my concern is if that's the angle they're taking, if that's the strategy, let's wait it out. Let's see who's disgruntled out there. Let's see who becomes available. It might be too late. And I hope that's not what it gets to. I agree that Lauri Markkanen, if that trade had gone down, may not have been enough, but it at least would have given them hope. And that's what I think Steph deserves. So that's where I'm at, man. I don't know.
If there's one thing that, is a lesson for the Warriors to take away from the Olympics is you still got the guy.
Yeah.
And if you give the guy, if you can find another Robin here for Batman, you can still solve a lot of crimes.
Exactly. 100% right. Yeah. But by the way,
I hope the Warriors take that to heart. And the next time, I would also say this, that the Warriors can't be in a space where they're doubting Steph Curry's greatness in any way. I think they have been operating from, this guy is the man. He remains the man. But the chance to just let it all breathe and try to grow it and try to, the 2 timeline, I don't even want to get into that. But the chance, you're running out of oxygen here. You're running out of competitive life cycle oxygen. So I hope that makes them seek the ability for that next, whoever the next Markkanen is the fish you probably got to land to do right by Curry here. So I hope they took that note. Or I hope that Brandon Podziemski is about to just absolutely live up to the reputation that the Warriors think he is about to have in this league. And if he does, that's going to cure a lot of ills.
Absolutely, dude. Again, he shot 58.8% from 3 in the month of April last year. Someone asked me, I think it was one of the Golden Days audience members, Bailey Bauer, asked this last show. He was curious what Podziemski's shooting clip was from beyond the arc when he played at Santa Clara, because his second year there, he shot 43.8% from deep. And it was a huge reason why he ended up being a first-round pick. He averaged, I think, like 6 3-point attempts per game. So it was a steady clip. If that is the Podziemski we see, where he's a lights-out 3-point shooter, yeah, it'll be worth it. Changing subjects real fast, because I got a few more tidbits here, going back to what we talked about 20 minutes ago. Apparently, Stephen Curry's babies, is it Caius? I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. It's an unusual name for me. I know it's biblical, but it's like a really obscure name.
Caius. Is it Caius?
Caius, Caius. I've never met someone named Caius, but I'm not dissing the name. It's just unusual. But apparently one of the cops made contact with the baby's head. And that's where Draymond Green started interjecting. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, making contact with a baby. So I can understand them being upset if there was actual physical contact made there.
Totally.
That's not cool.
Totally.
Not
yeah.
cool.
No, you don't hit the kid in the freaking papoose.
Don't kick the baby. Don't kick the baby.
Don't kick the baby. Yeah, that's, by the way, when you got Draymond Green trying to calm everyone down, the situation's getting a little out of control. The fact that Draymond did show up, by the way, in the now famous, Steph running down the court, nui. The person who is in the foreground of that photo with his arms raised like Moses parting the Red Sea is Draymond.
Oh,
I think it was awesome that Draymond was there for that. I think that was great. Someone was like, wouldn't it be cool if he just went to hate on Rudy Gobert?
Would love that too, man. I loved all those pictures coming back before that game, all the chokehold pics. Talk about just a lifelong photo that will live in infamy, man. I know, look, I'm not sitting here advocating for violence, but those are incredible photos, dude. And Gobert looked like he was fighting for his life in those pics, dude. And there's this Draymond just dishing it. It's legendary. It is legendary.
A couple more super chats here from Crazy Bubba Chicken saying, did you see Shams' game announcement, Klay back November?
I did. Just to add to that, Shams tweeting that Klay Thompson will be coming back to his longtime home of Chase Center. And I know he played in Oracle before that. November 12th. It's going to be a TNT game. I know it's not.
Have we got the schedule out? Have we got the
schedule thing? It's the full schedule is not out yet, which is why I think Sham is dropping a bomb there. So November 12th, which I'm looking at the calendar right now, is a Tuesday. So it's going to be a Tuesday TNT game. The Mavericks will be visiting Chase Center. No doubt the arena will blow up for Klay Thompson.
It will be the single greatest reception an opposing player has ever gotten in that building, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
He's getting a statue. He's getting a statue.
Yeah.
Put Rocco by him, please. Poor Rocco, who has to live in Texas now. Poor guy.
He'll be all right. He won't live. He won't leave that air-conditioned house. I'm not. You know who I don't feel bad for? Millionaire NBA players. I feel even less sympathy for their animals and their pets. I think they're going to be okay. Damien LaRoche says, I love you, Damon and Kerr, but he had a handicap of 12 strokes.
Oh, don't. Shh, we need a rip shot.
But here's the thing. I'd say it's maybe, now it's much less than that. The
11?
I don't know. But the world is much better at basketball than it used to be by a lot. And just rolling out of bed to win a gold medal in the Olympics, it ain't going to happen. It is not going to be easy to do for Team USA ever again. It really won't. It should still be the goal, but easy to do, it won't be easy to do. It won't be.
I love Damien is a longtime, incredibly loyal a listener, viewer of Golden Days. Thank you, Damien, for the.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Damien. I know. Boy, nothing bothered me more as a little kid than having someone confuse my name with Damien. Oh, Damien Bruce. Be like, oh God, I hate that.
Is it hot where you live? Are there torches and spears?
I think I'm just predisposed to not like Damien's based on the confusion that always got applied to me. But I'm sure he's a wonderful Damien. And I wish him the very, very best.
He's a good dude. He's a great dude. Yeah. He might have been at your Plus Mania. I don't know if he actually made it. He was telling me he was going to go. And I'm sorry again for not coming, dude. It's near a 2-hour drive. And I wanted to. I'm sorry, brother. I heard it was amazing. Did you talk about it on your show? Like, did you give a recap?
It was so amazing. I don't want to tell you about it because you just feel even worse that you weren't there.
Fair enough.
It was great. It was fantastic. It was wonderful to see so many people come on out, support me, the channel, the family. Kruger showed up. A lot of people just... It's great. Let me tell you, on radio, I talked at my audience. On YouTube, I talk with my audience. And I love that.
I like that. Is it because you can see them? Is it because of the visual thing, or is it just
it's a little bit of that, and then the fact that we've all gotten together a few times and like people are actually becoming like in-person lives friends with each other. Like it really is like a community. Like when I heard about like, oh, you can build a little community on YouTube, I was like, who cares? Fucking community. But it's real. It's really real. So I really, really enjoy it. I really, really do. And the Dubliner is just a great place to go hang out in West Portal. So everyone, I know a lot of people had been there before. Few people saw it for the very first time and they're like, oh yeah, we're coming back. This is an awesome bar. So it worked out great. And maybe here's the thing. Next time we do it, you come up the day before, you crash in our spare bedroom.
That's a plan.
And that way you won't have to have a 2-hour drive.
That's a plan, dude. And here's the thing. And for people who aren't familiar with the Bay Area, like that's San Francisco for you. It takes me about an hour 15 to get to the city. And then it would have been another 45 to get to West Portal.
But it's on the south part of the city. So it's not like you're driving through the city. It's not like I'm asking you to come meet me in the marina.
But I'm north. That's why for me.
You're coming through. You'd use the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh
but,
yeah,
it was a lot of that was me, man. It was just my fault. I did not plan that accordingly. Do that again, brother, please, because I want to make it.
We do it like quarterly. You know what? I bet you the next Plus Mania will probably be during the Niners bye week.
Ooh, when's that?
I don't know. I'm talking basketball right now. We'll get to it a little bit later.
You have another super chat, by the way. There we go. Yeah.
It's Damien again.
Oh, Damien. I saw 2 more then, at least. There's Damien. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I am Ike's old bowling mate from the 2000s.
Oh,
all right. I didn't know Ike. I didn't know Ike.
Bold. That's a random sport, by the way, especially in this modern era. Like, are there bowling alleys still in existence? I know Pacifica had a great one. I don't know if that one's still there, but do you bowl, Damon? That's an interesting topic, dude. Like bowling, they used to be a fabric of our culture. Is it still?
I don't bowl.
Is the Big Lebowski still a trend? Like, is that that's a great question. And Damien, if Ike is your buddy, man, will you throw in a word for me about a sandwich and a sponsorship? Come on.
No, all mine. Sorry. This is
I wasn't going through you. I would have never gone through you. But if we're talking about it's bowling, buddy.
I'm sorry.
Throw a few extra bucks, you know.
This is not going to happen. I'm sorry.
No disrespect. I apologize.
Can I have your dog? Are you attached to your dog?
How about a sandwich? Just a sandwich.
No, okay,
just a sandwich. Right. I'll take the sandwich, man. That would be a true. To me, that's such an honor. How did Jamie Sire get a sandwich? By the way, that still blows my mind. I know she was a presence here. Jamie's a good person.
She was really into food. She started a food blog. She worked at Food Network. Do you know you want to know when we're talking about like who totally got screwed over during the pandemic?
Jamie Sire?
Jamie Sire was about to be like the roving reporter for Iron Chef America. And she got a few episodes and then they shut down production. And I don't know if they've kicked it back up, but Jamie Sire she was an ascending Food Network star and then got pandemicked sort of off the radar. And that totally sucks, man.
I know I see her around. Like Jamie's actually really good people. She's really good people. Like Damon, I'm sure you've crossed paths with her. She used to be a local.
Totally. She was always the really nice, quiet girl in the press box. And I would go and say hi to her and, hey, how are you? But she was always just very quiet.
Yeah, we became friends while she was here, and then she moved on to SportsCenter, and then she got screwed over at SportsCenter too.
She got screwed over there too. Totally.
Yeah, they laid a bunch of people off there. Anyway, sorry to.
Hey, getting laid off. Welcome to the club.
Exactly.
These things happen to talented people. Trust me.
Regularly.
Let's see.
Damien, thank you for the super chat, man. That's really
absolutely, Damien. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
It was an awesome Olympics. It really was. I think
no hyperbole there either, right? I mean, this was like, we're being genuine. Like I would be faking it almost any other Olympics. I'd be sitting here saying, awesome Olympics, while my mind's going, that was boring as F. I really was not watching any of it. I never got a chance to try the Peacock app because supposedly Peacock was incredible in terms of just catching the best parts. Did you do that? Did you have a chance?
I did a little bit, but again, I get with the two kids, I don't have time to just like watch anything I want. So I was a lot of prime time in Paris, or I think most of my Olympic watching just happened while it was live during the afternoon and during the day. And so I watched a lot of the events and then would sort of see them for the second time during the prime time thing with Tarico. And I'll tell you what's amazing. I didn't have this anywhere on my bingo card that the most popular Olympic announcers of all time are probably Jim McKay, Bob Costas, and Snoop Dogg.
The Snoop thing was incredible. I heard he
Isn't that amazing?
Bank for that too. Supposedly he made a fortune just to hang out.
$500,000 a day, all expenses paid, and he is so teed up to be the mayor of Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. He's like the official Olympic ambassador now.
What's LA going to be like, dude? That is, we're 300 plus miles from that, dude. That's going to be a spectacle. I'm sure the residents of LA are going to hate that because it's going to clog up an already clogged up city. But that's going to be a spectacle. If you thought Paris was an event, LA is going to be lights out, dude. I was not old enough to remember the '84 Olympics. Like I was alive, but I was too young of a kid to remember any of it. But everyone tells me it was the scene. And the fact that it's back, bring it. I'm stoked.
Well, I mean, the '84 Olympics are the modern Olympics that all Olympics now measure themselves against. I think they're the first Olympics to ever turn a profit. They were the games that made the Olympic movement just capture America. And there were all Olympics before '84. And then '84 sort of changed the game forever going forward in terms of pageantry and spectacle and broadcasting rights. And It's going to be cool. They're going to do the basketball at the Inuit Dome, the place that the Clippers have built for themselves. That's going to open this year. That, by the way, looks incredible. Have you seen the Inuit Dome?
I've seen the specs, but until I actually see it,
there's a video out there where like Steve Ballmer is like showing everyone the new, like, look at our scoreboard. Look at this place. Look at it. The entire building blinks. Basically, the entire building is an LED screen almost. So.
What do you think about the fact that the Clippers put up no fight in keeping Paul George with this new building about to open? Like, does that tell you that the Clippers are trying to be a little more prudent financially, or does that tell you they know something about Paul George maybe other people did not, in the sense that maybe we don't need him that much? Like
I think they looked at Paul George and they just said, even though we're paying him to play for us, he doesn't. So why should we pay him to play?
Yeah.
The guy's he's forever hurt. He's forever derelict of duty when you need him the most. And by the way, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, kind of the same guy.
Yeah.
Kind of the same guy.
At least Kawhi's won. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could stomach Kawhi a little more because he's got multiple championships, finals MVPs. Yeah, Paul George hasn't even made a finals. So but I mean, because a lot of people talk about the Clippers as a team that has regressed and that maybe the Warriors can surpass them this season. You look at the roster, though, they also made some good additions for what they lost to Paul George. I'm not ready to write him off, is what I'm saying. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree with this, too. The Olympic needs more cowbell and less Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon adds nothing. Jimmy Fallon added nothing. You go, ooh, Tom Cruise. Thanks, Jimmy. We knew who he was. Let's see. Chef A says, where was the original Olympic theme song? Where did it go? I only missed, it's the only thing I missed.
I thought I heard it sometimes, but I heard it prevalently.
Well, I'll tell you what has changed dramatically is the presentation of the national anthems. Like, it felt like Olympic coverage used to be centered around the medal ceremony almost. And now it's like, oh, by the way, here they are getting their medals. Like 15 minutes after the fact. It feels like Olympic coverage changed a little bit. They're not sticking around for the medals like they quite used to. Or maybe that's just me and I didn't see enough of it. But I
didn't watch a lot of the podium stuff. I moved on. So
yeah,
I missed that.
I really, really like the Olympics. I'm going to miss it now that it's gone. I really am.
Oh, and Joe Schmo in the chat's asking, where am I besides being literally here right now in the present? I think he's referring to the show. In case we've talked about this before, if you're watching this through Golden Days, subscribe to Damon Bruce Plus. Is that right? Is that how people can find it? Just Damon Bruce Plus?
Yeah, correct? Yeah. I think I don't even think you need the plus. You put Damon Bruce in there and it pops up.
And then if you want Golden Days, add the word Warriors after that. Just put Golden Days Warriors in case Golden Days by itself doesn't show up. And that's my show. That's where I'm at now.
Well, I know it's spelled days with a Z, baby.
And that too. Like Dazed and Confused, one of the greatest movies ever, because we're all in the days, brother.
It's a monster. It's a monster. Look, it was such a cherry on top of a Sunday that is already one of the single greatest Sundays that has ever been served in NBA history. Steph Curry is just, again, we have entered into the space where we take his excellence for granted because it spends so much time with us. You know, you're not going to appreciate a 3-star Michelin restaurant when you've eaten there 4,000 times. And we have been eating in the best NBA restaurant for so long that we stopped appreciating it. Everybody else got let into the restaurant thanks to Steph, and Steph cooked them up a meal that they will never, ever forget. One of the coolest stats that I saw from this Olympics too. One of the coolest just little, facts along the way. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up again real quickly. Okay. On Steve Kerr's Olympic staff was Gonzaga's Mark Few.
Yeah.
Mark Few is one of the assistant coaches. The last time Gonzaga lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament, a babyface kid from Davidson, Steph Curry, shot Gonzaga out of that tournament in one of his, it began Curry's run as a March Madness badass. And it also, Steph Curry hit 8 threes to beat Mark Few's squad and then start his historic run. Full circle to the gold medal game, Steph Curry hits 8 threes to get Mark Few a gold medal. So how cool is that? How
Very
cool is that? The guy that got and by the way, Mark Few is one of the single greatest college basketball coaches of all time.
There.
Gonzaga was kind of thinking about maybe shutting down the program. He breathed life back into Gonzaga basketball.
All true.
And I think he has the single greatest winning percentage in major Division I college basketball, men's Division I college basketball. Mark Few right now.
And just playing off that, if you ever want to hear Stephen Curry, I don't know if you ever watched that show on YouTube. Maybe it's on TV now too. It's called Hot Ones, the Hot Wing Show. I brought this up on Saturday's Golden Days. So Stephen Curry was a guest. I just watched that episode the other day. And the best part of that, besides watching everyone suffer from the wings, which is in itself is comedy. Vince Vaughn, by the way, is a Hall of Famer. If you watch that episode, he did not drink milk or water for any of it. He just devoured all of it. It was impressive. Stephen Curry went into detail about the importance of his Davidson experience. It was awesome, man. And just reminded me of the Mark Few thing. I highly recommend watching that if you haven't, because he revealed how Davidson turned him into the player he is. And if he had gone to Duke or North Carolina and he toiled on the bench waiting for his turn, and he played in these rigid systems instead of a free flowing system that let him just be who he is, he would not be the person he is today. And it was awesome to hear that. Yeah, and Mark Few, there you go. Good correlation. It all comes back full circle.
How far away are we from NBA basketball now? Let's see. We got the rest of August, September, and come Halloween, October, we're going to be doing this again.
Yeah, and actually it starts now mid-October, I believe, because so we're not far away. You're right. I think training camps are mid-September, maybe even early September. So this is officially the doldrums. The next 3-4 weeks, like for example, tomorrow, Mark Jones, one of the voices of the NBA, is going to join me on Golden Days tomorrow. And this is going to be guest time where we just talk about, the Olympics, what's to come.
Light the beam, baby. Mark Jones.
Mark Jones is awesome, dude. Yeah. So he's going to come on the show tomorrow. But yeah, this is the time of year where you get guests on and you find interesting things to talk about. You're lucky because you're covering the Niners. You're busy. For the Warriors, though, yeah, these are the doldrums for the next 3-4 weeks. And then it's going to ramp up, dude. And it's going to get exciting, brother. Always.
How many games will Draymond be suspended for? Upcoming season. Is there any,
I said, let me rephrase that. I said the over under is 8 is what I would set it at if you're a betting man, and then I'll go the under on that slightly. What about you?
If he gets suspended one game, the team should give him a shower party where they take their soaps and they wrap it and they just beat the shit out of him.
You mean with soap bars and a towel?
Straight up Full Metal Jacket, Gomer Pyle, getting it in the bunk bed. If you have respect for Steph Curry that you demand of others and say you have yourself, Draymond, you are about to have the single most disciplined, defensive forward, nasty, great basketball season without incident of your career. You owe that to Steph Curry. Draymond Green, if you are suspended for your behavior at any point in time, shame on you.
Yeah,
and this isn't one of those like, you got to give him the room to be himself. No, be yourself without getting suspended. Okay, you owe that to Steph Curry. Now that Klay's not here to help it all, you owe that to Steph Curry, and I hope that is seriously one of the things that, why bother showing up in France? Why claim to support this guy in the off season if you're not going to support him in the regular season?
And Phil Ayer, I believe that I got the name correct in the chat, saying October 22nd is the first game. If that's true, then that's a week later than I said, which bumps me out a little more. Means later than what I thought. But yeah, and I'd say
Mark Jones twice. Just book Mark Jones.
And I say this facetiously. I would say the one exception to just completely frowning on Draymond Green being suspended is if we find him in another situation where suddenly Rudy Gobert is in a chokehold. I might be a little forgiving. Otherwise,
just because you enjoy a choked Rudy Gobert more than most.
Because a Frenchman was choked. Yes, absolutely. No, I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. We're having a good time. Damon, I love doing this with you, man. Thank you.
Did you see the pole vaulter whose top
with the
was
big bowl?
So huge that it knocked the pole right up? By the way, you want to talk about guys not to feel sorry for?
Ever.
That one.
Yeah.
Not worried. How many girls slid up into his DMs as he knocked that pole off?
Unbelievable, man. I
Seriously, I wanted to get like a pair of Lululemons and just take a baguette and throw them down there and carry a pole around the house.
Talk about the best way to lose. I don't know if there's a better way, man. That was bravo.
How'd you lose? My massive dong.
I have a big dick.
It's going to work. It's going to pay. It's going to work out in the end for you. I'm not worried about you. Cyrus, always a pleasure, brother. Thank you for suggesting we needed to do an Olympic recap. You are so right. I'm glad that we did this. Good luck with your projectile vomiting.
That's in the past. I'm in recovery, but thank you. Yeah, that was brutal.
And we'll do something again soon. Let me be one of those guys that we can just talk round and round about what might happen this upcoming season as we're treading water until it gets here. Always a pleasure, brother. Everybody, sports don't build character. And Nuit, everybody. Isn't that fantastic? It really is. Subscribe to Golden Days. Subscribe to Damon Bruce Plus, and make sure you hit like every single time you hit the videos, and hit notify too, and that way you won't miss a thing. But meanwhile, this has been an awful lot of fun, and indeed, nuit.